Hello, beautiful people. Mic check, mic check.
Yes, sir.
Welcome. It's so good to see everybody filling up the chat. Hi, Petty Tendergrass. Welcome, everybody, to Conversations for the Culture. I'm so excited to be here with you. It's actually not raining in Seattle, which is great. So you won't hear rain noises, but you will hear loud engine noises because my neighbor is working on loud engine things. So my apologies in advance for that. But very happy to see you all and very, very honored to welcome our guest for the evening, Starsky.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Appreciate you.
So, y'all, well, first of all, welcome everybody who's watching. Let me do my little YouTuber thing. Welcome everybody who's watching. Hit that like button if you will. Help us get to 20,000. Hit that subscription button. The mods will be around with Starsky's link as well. Sub. Knock that out. Welcome to the best mod squad. Thank you. You were in early, holding it down, Claudia. I saw you. I appreciate you. And welcome to all of the members from YouTube and Patreon. Appreciate you. Appreciate your support. Thank you to everybody who supports and sponsors the channel in any way that you can. Likes help, subs help, all those things. Become a member. It helps. I've got some things cooking for you that I'm going to be announcing soon that I'm really excited about. It's hard to bite my tongue, but I'm biting my tongue. Anyway, in the chat, drop where you're at. Give us an indication of where you're at so we know where you're watching from. And Starsky, how you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm glad it's Friday. For sure.
Oh, child. It's been a week.
Oh, yeah.
It's been a week. I've been kind of in a rabbit hole. What have you been covering on the channel this week?
I'll say mainly going over that. I say the biggest topic was the Nokia video. The Nokia and also the lawsuit as well. But
Okay.
kind of just dabbling into the lawsuit a little bit.
What do you think about the Nokia video?
I think it's from, if you're just looking at strictly from a just because I like, if you don't know, I have a background in animation. I have with the Full Sail University, so I'm looking at it from I'm looking at the color scheme, I'm looking at the choreography, I'm looking at all these different type of things from that perspective. It looks amazing, but from what he's actually attempting to communicate, especially when you add in the lawsuit, it just, I don't think it's a great chess move, and that's well known for Drake. Ever since this entire beef, he's been making horrible chess moves this entire time, and that's kind of a part of his character at this point.
Yeah, indeed. So
Exactly.
let's back up. You said that you went to Fordham?
Full Sail University.
Oh, Full Sail. Okay.
Yeah, Full Sail. Yeah.
For animation.
Uh-huh.
What got you into animation?
I would say I'll say it started, I'll say around high school, mainly just content creation in general. So I had to choose between either music, film, or animation. And I kind of was already doing music. I really didn't feel like I needed to go to school for that. And then with film, I figured I could do animation and still have access to the film industry, and I can dabble in the music industry, and I can also dabble in the gaming industry as well. So I had more versatility in what I can do when it comes to careers.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what do you enjoy the most about that?
I'll just say this: the creation aspect, just having ideas and be able to make them come alive. I'll say that's the best part,
Was that
especially when,
something that you did as a kid?
absolutely. That's just
Okay.
absolutely. That's always been who I just who I like. I'll say as a kid, I have I'm a wrestling fan too. So growing up having action figures, create storylines, and I'll have my phone. I do like stop motion animation, and then that type of thing. And it just kind of matured from that, and just, yeah, and that's it.
I think black people think, I mean, I think a lot of people think that black people aren't nerds like that. Like, we
Oh
don't
yeah,
have an appreciation for wrestling. We don't have an appreciation for animation. Like, we're not at home making our little scripts. And whether it's with our action figures, our friends, our family members who don't want to be whatever it is that we're trying to create,
hmm
that's just a part of who we are. And I love hearing that strategy of you figuring out, I'm going to take a path that actually allows me to do a couple of these things
yeah,
instead of just one of these things. Like, that's the versatility and I think forward strategic thinking of us always.
oh yeah,
Yeah. And I think it's also really special when you're passionate about something as a kid and you actually do get to carry that forward into your adult life. It's like, I feel like it's good for the inner child, so to speak, you know, because you
absolutely,
are your own wildest dream of what you could
absolutely,
imagine you could create as a child, which is a really beautiful thing.
absolutely. And I just say thankful to my parents for allowing me to do that because I know in our community uh we don't have that support. So that's just a privilege for me to be able to sit back and be able to go to art school and I would say just in the society that we live in, just ability to sit back and make a career out of what we do, to for me to sit back and have a phone and a microphone and be able to talk about music, and it's just a privilege. I'll say so. It really doesn't require me to have motivation or inspiration because now I have a purpose. So that gives me that drive. Makes it a lot easier. I know you
Mm-hmm.
probably feel the exact same way.
Absolutely. I do. And so when did you start your channel and what motivated you to start your channel?
So I started the actual official channel was actually I'm a musician as well. So uh it started off with me posting my music videos, but I say the first actual piece of content that I made was the 20-minute not 20-minute, but it was the 7-minute drill. When J. Cole dropped his 7-minute well his diss to Kendrick that he later apologized for.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the very first reaction video I ever made. And I
Mm-hmm.
dropped that video, and then the next day I woke up and had about 20,000 views. And after that, that's all I needed. And that's how stars can begin. That's it. It's about
How
about 10.
did you
Yeah.
did you feel compelled to make that video?
I have no idea what pushed me. I think at that point, I think I was also unemployed too at that point. So I was just sitting at home having those unemployed thoughts like, man, what am I gonna do next? What am I gonna do?
Mm-hmm.
So I had
Very
nothing but
real.
time. I had nothing but time. So I said
Mm-hmm.
one day I just let me take out my phone. I already have my equipment because I said I'm a musician already, so I already have the microphone. I have the
Mm-hmm.
equipment set up. Might as well. And
Mm-hmm.
then thankfully I did it. Remain consistent. Now I'm here. We're here.
That's a beautiful thing. So, how would you say your content has changed, if at all, from your first video till now?
I would say first, I was just making content just to see what sticks. So I was doing a bunch
Right.
of once I saw that the J. Cole reaction did well, and I just started going down the entire diss track uh discographies, just listening to a bunch of just old school diss tracks, like the Hit 'Em Up, Ether, and a bunch of Eminem diss tracks. And then I started getting into the documentaries and started using my degree a lot more. So when it comes to just storytelling, sitting down, coming up with an idea, had a storyboard, writing the script, editing, and actually sitting down writing a polished product. So I would say with the live streams and the reaction videos, it's kind of I always say it's almost like my mixtape. It's almost like a freestyle, but the documentaries are more like the albums. So it just gives me time. It just gives me the opportunity to communicate, and that's like I also have a background in teaching as well, so it just gives me that opportunity to also educate, but also entertain at the same time.
How long from when you dropped Your first reaction video, how long was it before you had your first live?
I'll say it was a few months. I'll say
Mm-hmm.
about because what I did was when I first started dropping videos, I would, if you're a creator, there's the option when you are uploading the video to have the premiere,
Mm-hmm.
so you can
Mm-hmm.
see how many people are watching live.
Mm-hmm.
So what I used to do, I just premiere the video and I'll see how many people are watching live. So if I had like once I had like double digit people watching, then I said, cool, it's cool. It's enough people for me to go live now. So
Mm-hmm.
I know that people will be expecting me once I go and premiere the videos.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll say a few months. Yeah.
Do you remember what was the first topic, like a video at the time, or was it something that was happening at the time?
Yeah, it was most likely something to do with the Kendrick and Drake beef. After that, that's what, like, no matter what I try to do, I can't escape it. Like, that's just
Yeah.
a part of the channel at this point, but it's just so big and it just covers so many different areas of hip hop. Like, even if I'm talking about Doechii, I got to mention Kendrick somehow. Like, it just goes back to just art just being so political. As much as people try not to make it be political, it just covers so many different aspects of life. So um yeah, so I say that the Kendrick and Drake, yes, it's so big, it has to be.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I can't believe we're still talking about it a year later, but also
Yeah.
it just seems so appropriate that we're talking about it a year later because you're right. It is one of those inescapable things. And I'm sure every once in a while you get a biscuit head commenter who's like, you wouldn't have any viewers if you weren't talking about,
Yeah.
da 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 da, bro. And it's like, there's talking about the men, there's talking about the artists, and then there's talking about what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
And it just is that they're a teachable moment for so many different things
Mm-hmm.
that you can talk about that has to do with humanity, blackness, politics, like you said, identity, the culture, who speaks for it,
Mm-hmm.
who's in it, who's out of it.
Talk about the business.
There's our own moral shortcomings as individuals or as a people when we see, celebrity struggling and a domino effect of black male celebrity, particularly in hip hop, struggling in one way or another. And they're so sensitive and they try and be so hard. But yeah, they're a teachable moment for so many things. So even though you kind of just like started your channel on the fly and you kind of have, I love how you described the content, the mixtape versus the album. Genius. Did you come in with an idea of purpose, or has it developed over time? And is it tied to how you see your own purpose, or is it completely separate hobby?
I would say starting 2020, I think that kind of had a huge shift in just my mindset, just sitting alone with our own thoughts. I know it just brings me back to it's this famous quote by Blaise Pascal that I mention all the time. It says like all human miseries derive from our inability to sit alone with our own thoughts. So just understanding the power of the subconscious, uh, just getting into just figuring out who I am, it just becomes a lot easier to attach everything I do to my purpose. So whether that's me, like I said, becoming a teacher, me going outside taking care of my body, or just whatever I attach onto, I try to uh, just do everything the same. So putting that purpose to the content, just going back to just who I am as a man. This is who I am. This is all I know. I also have a background in martial arts, so going back to that, doing the understanding that doing martial arts, there's really nowhere to hide. There's nowhere to run. Like if you have an issue, then it's only your issue. You can't blame any other person. You have to be fully accountable. So that's something that I've just learned as a kid, and that's something that I've always took with me. So being able to attach uh, that discipline, the self motivation to waking up being a content creator. I want to be an example. Uh, and I know I'm kind of rambling on, but
No, you're not.
yeah,
You're doing beautifully.
yeah, because I'm trying, because I can easily talk. Like I said, I can when I have
This is what
purpose.
we're here for.
I can go on and on and
You do
on.
it.
So
Do
I
it.
really so just going back to like what I mentioned throughout my videos all the time is always about understanding just self actualization, being able to communicate, articulate, and celebrate blackness in all its essence, and having our own media. And we have the opportunity in 2025 with me being able to pick up a camera and a microphone. We can have access to our own media. We have access to spread our own information and change our own narrative. So I just feel as if sitting back through in 2020, I can't claim to be the good person or the activist I claim to be if I don't actually put in the work. Me changing a profile picture or me talking about it on the Instagram story, that's cool. It's gives me the feeling of I'm being a good person. But me having a background growing up in Birmingham, Alabama, I understand the civil rights movement. I understand what it took to actually get things to change, and we've made a lot of progress since that time, and there's still a lot of work that needs to be done. And I just feel like in 2025, this is the perfect opportunity, and I don't want to waste it at all.
How do you feel Birmingham shaped you from childhood to now?
I would say growing up around blackness, say growing up around a black mayor, have black teachers, black doctors, or black dentists, just having that option, it gives you a different perspective, and you see how I communicate with people from different parts of the world, or different parts of America, where you go to New York and it's like you have the Chinatown, you have, you're almost like a minority of the minority, and it's a different feel and a different perspective of blackness when you wake up and everyone around you is black. So it just gives me once again going back to the taking control of our own media and our propaganda. It just, like I said, with our content, there's thousands of hours of content being created each and every single second. So nowadays, we're getting away from this celebrity culture, and you're seeing average, normal people get to be in the spotlight and have this attention. And I'll say, like, once again, going back, this is the perfect opportunity to tell our story.
I don't think there's any more important time to do it, quite honestly, than right now, based on what is happening in the world. What is your earliest music memory?
I'll say probably Michael Jackson. It got to be Michael
Okay.
Jackson. Growing up, what was the? It was the. I think it was the performance he did with like had like Beyonce came out, Usher, like had
Okay.
like a bunch of
I
that. It
know
was like
exactly what you,
yeah,
I can't name it, but I can see it in my head.
yeah.
Yes.
I had that performance on VHS, and as a kid, I used to watch it all the time, over and over and over. So that was my thing, Michael Jackson.
What was it about you? What was it about it that had it on loop for you or had it on rewind? Play again,
I'll
rewind, play again.
I'll say just the energy, and I'll say especially seeing Michael Jackson when he came out with the astronaut suit, and just it's just I don't know, it's just I know nowadays we call it aura, but it was just I know every kid grew up had that Michael Jackson phase. Just something
Mm-hmm.
about it. Just the energy that he put behind the music is something that I could appreciate.
Mm-hmm. What's your earliest rap memory?
Ooh, that's a good one. I would say I said I growing up I was a big Outkast fan, Under 3000.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say just growing up in the South, growing up with that, like during that time, that's when Outkast was really going crazy, and they started
Mm-hmm.
like Loki. That's one of the reasons why I'm such a big Kendrick fan because I see so many similarities within Andre 3000 and just the artistry. So Andre 3000, just being able to once again embrace all the different elements of blackness, to be able to showcase that creativity, to be a nerd, be cool, have the accolades, to have the success and the respect, and still remain authentic. That's something that I've always respected.
Anybody else?
I'll say that, and then I'll say Lil Jon. I'm just like Lil Jon, like especially as a child, you can see how as a kid, Lil Jon, he can have you with
Yes.
a lot of energy. So it's
Yes.
simple, it's repetitive. Like
Yes.
just imagine just being outside with your cousins as
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Just hitting just I just remember just the 808s and just trunks just boom 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 boom. And that's
Yeah.
just something that's just a vivid memory in the South.
What does mainstream music miss when it comes to the South and the sounds of the South? What are we not getting?
I would say hmm,
Because there's the commercial.
hmm
There's the commercial what we get that's pushed through the mainstream. But
hmm
then it's like what is an authentic sound that we're not hearing. That you think is even more representative of what the South sounds like.
I would say of course, the South has the 808s. That's pretty much our biggest thing. But just going back to just the blues elements that are within the South. I know a lot of people may not like Future, but I say Future is with his music. The reason why a lot of people resonate to it is because it has a lot of those blues elements to it. Um, and I'll just say, just going back to the atmosphere and going back to Lil Jon. So, and people may not really understand why Lil Jon and his music connected so much back then because they like it was just of course the crunk music in that era because he really wasn't as lyrical, but just going back to understand like the 808s and the reason why we listen to that music, just the culture of the cars and the cookouts and that type of thing, it just created an entire visual representation of, I'll just say, I'm trying to see the best way to communicate. Like it just shows hip hop in its purest form, just us making the best out of what we have. So just going back to, I don't want to just be extremely political, but going back to slavery, seeing us take the collard greens and make collard greens, but they are. So us turning these 808s and these simple drum patterns and us not really having access to instruments and still being able to make the music that we make, it just shows us our ability to take the scraps and turn it into something beautiful. I'll say that's the biggest thing for me.
Mm-hmm. When was the first time that a woman caught your attention in rap?
Oh, Lauren Hill, easy. That's easy.
Okay.
Lauren Hill, easy. I'll say that's one of the reasons why I like Doechii so much because she has a lot
Mm-hmm.
of similarities. It's just the first. I'll say either that or Missy Elliott.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
And it's for the exact same reason because they're so versatile. They can sing, and they can
Mm-hmm.
rap, and they can. It's not just about being a woman. They can compete with anybody, just
Anybody.
musically. So just going back to just being a pure artist, I would say I feel like Lauryn Hill is she could play instruments. She probably can paint. She probably can draw all types of
Yep.
things like that.
Yep.
So when you see those traits within people, I automatically attach onto it.
Who's your top five women rappers?
I would say Lauryn Hill. That's easy.
Mm-hmm.
Just of all time,
Yep,
because
of all time.
I'm adding current too. So right, because I don't have a
Yeah.
top, like I just have top. I have five. I can't really rank them right now because
No, that's totally
yeah,
fine.
yeah.
They can
So
just be in the five.
yeah, yeah. Let's see. I'll say okay, Lauryn Hill. I'll throw Doechii in there because I
Mm-hmm.
feel like if she remains consistent, she has it. It's just she just has to remain consistent. I just feel like she's gonna be that. I'll say Glorilla. I'm really impressed by Glorilla. She's
She's starting to grow on me, I have to admit. She's starting to grow on
yeah,
me.
yeah, same
Mm-hmm.
for me. Especially with this last album, she's grown on me a
Mm-hmm.
lot. So I say Lauryn Hill, Doechii, Glorilla. Let's see, number four. Would you count? Like I said, Missy Elliott. Would you count Missy?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll say Missy because like yeah, Missy and what she did, just from the music videos, just
Everything.
everything. Yeah,
Yep.
music. Yeah. So number five. Hmm. Because I'm trying. Let's see number five. I'll say hmm. Because I was gonna say Queen Latifah, but
Mm-hmm.
but I
It's hard.
yeah, it's hard to get it's gonna get that last five because I'm thinking of Rhapsody too, but
Mm-hmm.
Queen Latifah, she just culturally, she's just a lot like she just go back to what I mentioned, just artistry, her
Mm-hmm.
being able to do the music and sing and
Mm-hmm.
just her impact in culture,
Acting. Yeah.
acting and all just
Mm-hmm.
it's yeah. So I say Queen Latifah, yeah,
Yeah, that's a
for
good
sure.
one. That's a good one. What do you think, or what have you experienced as a that brings you to understand like common misconception of YouTubers? What do you think are some pretty common misconceptions that people have about being a YouTuber?
Um,
Do people tell you what to do, or is that just do they just do that to girls?
oh no, they don't leave me alone. Even if they did, I don't care.
Yeah, yeah, I don't care either,
No,
but I definitely get the do this, do that, do this, do that kind of stuff.
yeah, they don't get it to me as much. So I guess that probably has a yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably just a unique on that yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. I'll say the biggest misconception is probably either the money or
That's a good one.
what they think we know. Like with the content creators, like how Drake is putting all these content creators in the lawsuit, it's like it's almost as if they think we truly plan these things like we are somehow hired or we are getting paid by uh labels, and that's the biggest like saying like you're taking a check, TDE check or something like that. It's like I don't get paid for these
Yes.
people. I wish, but
Yes.
but yeah, like I said, going back to the money or just like just going back to industry insider news, like we know something that other people don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. Like no. No, I just read the article in detail.
Exactly. Like yeah, we like without understanding that we are also able to do the exact same thing every other label is every able to do. Like this easily accessible information, especially if we're actually scholars, we are actually college educated as well. We can also do these things. It is what it is.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. What kind of community have you cultivated on your channel?
I would say I've cultivated a community that are educated. They like being educated and they don't mind having conversations. I'll say I have like I have a lot of Kendrick fans, so it just goes back to the type of Kendrick fan, well, the fans that Kendrick attracts. So just going back to, I'll say, I don't want to keep bringing Drake into this, but just going back
No,
to,
we're going to be
yeah,
talking about Drake. You don't have to
yeah,
make any apologies for whatever you want to talk about here. This is a safe space. We're going to talk about all of it. You're so good to go.
yeah. So it's just going back from just, you can just imagine the stereotypical Drake fan who worships Drake, who lusts after Drake, who wants to live vicariously through Drake. It's completely the opposite of a Kendrick fan who I have been a Kendrick fan since, I'll say, just Section 80.
Yeah.
So, and I had no idea about Kendrick's children. I don't know. I knew about Whitney. I saw her once at the Grammys, but I really don't care about their relationship. So it just shows the difference between Drake's fans and Kendrick's fans, that we are here for the ideas, and I'm here for the conversation and the art form. And Kendrick is the medium that communicates that idea that I respect. So I'm looking at Kendrick from a form of respect, and I see my community as, I want to see it like a Socratic circle almost. And I know that we are. They say that we're in a loneliness epidemic. So I just feel like this would be the perfect opportunity, like you see through live streams, through content, just to curate a community of like minds, just to say that, hey, you're not alone. There's people out here that having similar conversations, similar experiences, and it makes it feel more relatable.
I don't know. You tell me, because I don't know. I'm being literal. I don't know if before this all went down, there had ever been such an awareness and discussion about the difference between Drake fans and Kendrick fans.
Oh yeah,
Was it talked about before?
not as much because I would say, because Drake, he still had so many of his fans were other people's fan bases as well.
Right.
Like like before this, it was still like Drake hopping on other people's feet, like songs and albums. So it was still like this collection of Travis, Future, 21, like they all hop on each other's albums.
Right.
But after this beef, it kind of separated Drake and Kendrick, and it kind of put this
Man.
spotlight on them a lot. So
Yeah.
that's when that 20v1 narrative started.
Mm-hmm.
So now you see Drake is that one, and you see it's not even just Kendrick fans, it's just Kendrick fans plus all the people that he's dissed, all the people he's ever disrespected, and everything's coming back to Drake. And it just shows, especially after everything that's done, the people that are still attaching on to Drake, it's a specific type of person. And I always mention in my videos that you are the average of the 5 people you hang around the most. So looking at Drake, him associating himself with academics, and him associating with Kanye and what they're doing now, it it just puts it just makes it polarizing to say, if you still are on Drake's side, this is what you have to stand for. So now it just makes it even more obvious.
What do you think's going on with Kanye right now?
He's up to his same tactics. He's just getting even more desperate. It's just attention. He has, like, I watched this Netflix documentary called How to Start a Cult. I believe that's what it's called.
Mm-hmm.
But it just breaks down just different cult leaders, like Jim Jones and that those
Mm-hmm.
type of things.
Mm-hmm.
And Kanye, he has all the money, he has everything he ever wants, and it's still not enough. What he wants is attention. What he wants is people to worship him, and he wants people to control. He wants to be he wants to be seen as God. So, and it's extremely obvious. That's the reason why most people are just looking at him. We're giving him views, or most people are just ignoring him altogether. But he's never going to actually. He, I don't know what he wants. I don't, especially nowadays with the KKK situation. I just feel like he has this mindset of I don't even want to say that because it's gonna seem bad, but it's almost equivalent to a terrorist, to a mass shoot. Like if he were that if we were not a billionaire, then I feel like he would do something extremely just he would just do something extremely evil if he
Now,
weren't like Kanye.
now I agree with you 1,000% because I've said this before, and I see We Are Deciphered is here, and I actually said this about um, Drake in a sense, but Kanye is a even better example in the moment of there are people in the world who choose notoriety as their purpose. That is how they are going to feel like they matter. If they can't get it one way, then they will go the notoriety route. And on the spectrum of notoriety is everything from I'm going to make a shirt with a swastika on it and sell it to I'm going to shoot up a place. They're on the same spectrum. You have decided you're going to do harm on a mass scale to the best of your ability to exact something that you want, regardless of if it's good for people or not. It's not. The swastika, it's not good. None of these things that you are doing are a positive contribution. And it's like he's injecting himself with, boosters, and at the same time inflicting mass harm on people. And I agree with you about the God complex worship issue. And I don't know where you go after wanting to be God. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know where you go after wanting to be God. And I don't know where none of us do, obviously.
Yeah.
I don't know where or how this ends, but it's so bad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it's just so bad.
Yeah, and like just he started off. Of course, I grew up on Kanye, so going from the Taylor Swift situation to it just compound interest is like you just said. I don't know where else he can go. Like how farther can he take this besides doing something extremely dangerous?
Terrible.
Yeah. So it's like
if
you want us to be in fear, you want us to be scared, you want us to you want us to feel a type of way about what you're doing. And if that's not enough, then like I said, he's a billionaire. He has resources. He can tangibly do something. And whether it's to other people or to himself. Because we know his history and we know he's made it well known, his issues. So, and it's just, that's also a reflection of that, because I always talk about how the subconscious doesn't know the difference between real or fake. So Kanye dealing with his mindset and his thoughts, he's attempting to project those feelings into the rest of the world. He wants us to feel the way he feels. So it's like the common saying, misery loves company. And now he has the attention, he has the platform, he has people like Akademiks, and those platforms still giving him the attention that he wants to spread his message. So once he stops getting that attention, people like completely just stop giving him attention, I just feel like it's gonna get bad. It's gonna get bad.
Yeah. Yeah, I've never really, before the past probably 8 years or so, never really given a whole lot of thought to, billionaires are bad. But yeah, I think that they are. I think that they are, and I don't, and I think it is because money corrupts the soul.
Hmm.
I think money corrupts the mind and the soul, and when you have that much power, because you have that much resource, and your soul is corrupted, and
Hmm.
you don't care about humanity. You only care about getting this fix of me, 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 me,
Hmm.
which is what he desperately wants all the time. What's bigger than a billionaire? Do you know what I mean? Like, what's bigger than
Yeah.
God? What's bigger than a billionaire? What is going to bring you back down to like being a human being in your body?
Hmm.
I
Yeah,
don't know.
it just goes back to I don't want to pretend like I'm a therapist or anything, but I truly believe that Kanye is a narcissist, and it's pure like I believe that he has a lot of like not just like the way that we use it to describe a self-centered person. I truly believe that for
Yeah.
Kanye, I truly believe that he has a psychological disorder.
Mm-hmm.
That the way that he
Yes.
processes information, I truly it's not a normal thought process.
Yes.
And so and it's we've seen it for so long, but we've let him get away with it as a culture. It's oh that's just Kanye. This is what Kanye does now. But it's we we like I said, we just let him get away with too much.
Do you feel like people are becoming more discerning and kind of fed up because the same shit, not just him, but a bunch of people. Livingston Allen, you mentioned he's another one. These people have been around for a while. They've
Mm.
been doing the same thing. Um, I hope I'm not wrong. Am I wrong? Did you just have a video about Adam 22?
I didn't make a video. I made a post about Adam,
A
but I didn't make
post
a
about
video
it.
about
Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you. But yes, these people who
oh, yeah.
have been around doing their thing, and it's been a long time. It's the same thing. There is a like a frenetic energy to it
Hmm.
that is exhausting.
Yeah.
And then anytime something happens, you don't even have to absorb what it is. You don't have to read the post. You already know you're going to be exhausted by whatever it is as soon as these faces come up on the timeline or in the news.
Hmm.
But I'm wondering, based on your experience as a creator, your experience, person in the world, but also having a community. You've got people that are talking, leaving comments, chatting with each other. Do you feel like people are getting more discerning? Do you feel like they're getting sick of it? Do you feel like they're starting to shut it out? Or do you feel like it's still just too much entertainment fodder that people won't turn away from?
I feel like when it comes to Kanye, especially going back to his last album, I heard he released it. I haven't heard anyone really talking about it. I haven't seen anybody cover it. Uh, like that's like the music side, like the product that they put
I
out.
mean, he could have released it
Yeah,
on a radio signal somewhere between here and Jupiter. That's the other thing. We don't even
yeah,
know what platform he released it
yeah.
on.
Last I saw, him and Akademiks were complaining about Kendrick and his bots, and he was saying that he took it off streaming because Kendrick and bots, something similar to that. But like I said, it really didn't get that much traction. So when it
Right.
comes to academics, it's almost what I was talking about. Like I say, around this time last year, I remember reports around Sexy Red and like Ice Spice were having difficulty selling tickets, and it just goes back to confusing social media views and attention with people valuing you. So just I have a background in sales, and one of the things that they taught us,
Damn, that's so.
yeah,
Damn.
it's just
It's such a fact, but it's also such a bar, and it's also
yeah,
such a dagger. It's so true.
yeah, just like I have a sales background, and one of the things they taught us is people don't buy what they like, we buy what we value, and especially we know what's going on with the stock market and the financial situation and the economy. I'm not spending my money on a sexy red or ice spice. That I'm not doing it. Especially when you look at the average rent is about $1,500 a month. We value rent, so we can spend $1,500 a month. I will never spend $1,500 a month on a Kanye or an entertainer we don't value anyone that's not what we value. Even looking at just money in general, UMG has has about what 4 billion, and you see a McDonald's, it's 200 billion, and that's just McDonald's. We're not even talking about the entire food industry or just other industries around the world. And I just say throughout the music industry, people like Kanye and DJ Academics, their job is to distract. And
Hmm.
that's it. And they make it seem like what Kanye is doing or what Drake is doing matters. And it matters to them because it's their life. But we got real things going on right now. I don't have time to worry about what Kanye got going. I don't care. So the only people that will actually listen are children. But even children are looking at Kanye like he's that crazy uncle. They don't see Kanye as the college dropout anymore. So
And a lot of them never knew him in that way anyway.
yeah, same thing with Drake. Like I always talk about how I grew up with the R. Kelly that we see in the Boondocks. Like that was really my really introduction to R. Kelly is the Step in the Name of Love and
That's so
him
funny that you say that.
and
It's
that's
have you
yeah.
heard me tell the story about my son in the Boondocks and R. Kelly?
Nah,
How old are you?
I'm 26.
Okay, so you're about a year and a half or so, same age range as my son.
Mm-hmm.
So he was definitely still too young. But so I have the Boondocks in print. I have the full thing
Oh,
in
okay.
print, and he was probably 11 or 12. And I was like, I gave him all three. I was like, here, read this. And he was like, yeah, this is great. And then one day he came to me and, you know, book open. And he looks over the book at me and he's like, so what exactly did R. Kelly do? And I
Yeah.
was like, oh, I forgot that was in
Hmm.
there. So
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, and then just going back to you see all these children singing Kendrick Lamar lyrics, and they're growing up seeing Drake the exact same way. They don't
Yeah,
have the Marvin's Room nostalgia or the So Far Gone nostalgia that
right.
I have or my generation.
Right. He's just lame.
Yeah, yeah, he's just a 40-year-old man. He's still trying to show up at their college parties. It's like, yeah, it's looking weird now.
It is. It is. Overall, how do you think the state of rap is doing? How do you think it's going right now? I mean, I think for me, the early 2020s were kind of boring. It's
Mhm.
cooking now.
Yeah,
It's cooking now.
I would say the same. I would say it got to a point where, especially during my era, the SoundCloud era, it was nostalgia for me. But at the same time, it made it way too easy to make music, and then just effect. It's just supposed to have once you have that easy access to get microphones and then just upload anything you want, you get a lot of quantity. You get a lot of people able to make the music, but it just goes back to just most people don't know music theory. They're just freestyling. They're not writing anymore. Going back to rollouts, like if you actually are doing the marketing correctly, they'll try to call you an industry plant. No different than how they're doing Dochi. So
Mm-hmm.
it just like around that time, I say that's like, kind of oversaturated things. But now people are realizing it's not that much money as they thought it was. It's not as easy. It takes time. It takes effort. And like I said, we're in the economic status. You got to put money up to get money back. And we don't value music the same way that we used to value music. So now, I'll say with Kendrick, you'll see how Doechii was inspired by Kendrick and Tyler the Creator, and now you're seeing rappers being more vulnerable. You saw how YG just put out that his song, being something that we never really expected for someone like YG. You see Two Chains doing music with the Alchemist, something that we really never expected. So you have people, rappers getting older, um, and I'll say we're going through a transition right now. That's what I'll say.
Mm-hmm.
A much needed transition.
Who are you enjoying listening to right now?
I'll say Kendrick for sure. GNX. That's still uh
It's so
Cinnamon Roast
good.
for sure. I'll say that, and I'll say I work out a lot, so I listen to a lot of Playboy Cardi. I
Okay.
listen in the background. Yeah, yeah. When it comes to just work, yeah, he gives me the energy I need for working out. But and besides that, if I'm not in that zone, if I don't want a bunch of 808s, then I'll just listen to just some R&B,
Mm-hmm.
just some R&B. I really don't have a particular artist. I just go on my Spotify, just turn on the playlist, and just listen to just a particular vibe, and I just chill out.
I have never heard somebody say Future and the blues in the same sentence. Expand my mind.
It goes. I'll say, Future. He has when it comes to I'll say particular songs like I'll say Solo. You probably don't know what Solo is, but it I say one
I'm
of the people
taking notes.
because I'm not even like a huge Future fan. Like
Mm-hmm.
I just know that's what people have told me. Like they relate to Future because it gives them that same familiar that's that same vibe as you would get from the blues. So Future him talking about his addictions, his woman
Mm-hmm.
problems. Uh, it just has a similar. The substance is extremely similar, but just the
I
way
had
it's
never thought
communicated.
of it that way before.
Yeah, so yeah, he's like, cause Future he's not really like a gangster. Like
For sure.
he's more player. He's
For
more
sure.
yeah, he's more player, more uh
Now, this I
hustler.
do
Yeah,
know. I do know all of that. But
yeah.
I had
So
never tried to put his. No, and I'm shut up. I'm listening. Go
yeah,
ahead. Mm-hmm.
so so with Future, like he just with the blues, he still sing about his pain, his troubles, and he similar to the blues. They try to make it makes it sound aesthetically pleasing,
He sure does.
and he's and that's it. So he makes
would
his
you
he
would you
yeah.
put would you put Lil Wayne in that category as well?
I would say just hip like a lot of the best music stems from a lot of the just those the foundation. Especially just in hip hop in general. That's one of the reasons why I love hip hop so much because you can literally sample anything into a hip hop song. Just
Yeah.
it just takes so many different elements and you combine them into one. So combining that from blues, that the substance, that same exact energy. Yeah, you say Lil Wayne, of course. I say the best artists are the ones who can take all those elements and transcend just everybody and everything.
Yeah. That's interesting because anytime I hear Future, I'm like, he ain't talking about shit. But I do
Yeah.
appreciate that perspective. I really do. I really do appreciate that perspective because it's so true. It's so true. That was a total light bulb moment for me. Okay. Let me get my little questions.
Oh yeah.
What is your goal or goals And they change, you know. So today, what are your goals today for your channel?
I used to have like set goals. Like this is not my first channel. This is just my first successful channel. I've been making content, I'll say, since middle school, high school, but it never just really catch on. So this is the first time I've actually been successful. So I used to grow up thinking I wanted like millions of subscribers and that type of thing. But my goal is not necessarily the subscribers. It's mainly like a community. I'll say that's the biggest thing for me. I'll say the next 3 to 5 years, I've been taking it slow. I had the opportunity to make certain videos and do certain things to branch out, but I would rather take this channel slow, build up a community, get to the point where I have a team behind me, have editors. Eventually, I want to start doing more. Like I always say that Starsky is my Disney. Even with the name Disney, Starsky has a similar sound to it. I see, like I said, I had my background in animation. So right now I'm still, just like I said, building up a community. So when I eventually start making more films, like I said, my albums, then I have the marketing, I have a platform. I don't have to go through anybody else. I don't have to politic behind the scenes and do certain things. It's just me thinking about trying to do those things. It just annoys me already. So me having the ability to go directly to my audience, um, like I said, we have control of our own media, our own propaganda. So that's it. Y'all say about the
Mm-hmm.
next 3 to 5 years. I don't even have a particular subscriber count or
Mm-hmm.
anything like that. I just say, well, I just prepare myself to receive it. I just say I'm going to show up consistently each and every single week. I'm going to live stream. I'm going to make my videos. In each video, I'm going to get better. So that's pretty much my goal.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. The organic process.
Hmm.
Yep, I feel that. What is a rap lyric that describes your current mindset?
Ooh, I'll say something for Tupac for sure. Either that or I'll say Kendrick since I'm listening to GNX. Hey, what's up, Peekaboo? That boom bop boom, the type of shit someone you wouldn't understand. The type of skit someone you wouldn't. He said, like that type of thing. Like what I'm on right now. It's like you wouldn't understand.
Mm-hmm.
Like like just going back to my goals about Starsky is like some people don't understand YouTube. They don't understand what's going on. So hey, you don't understand. I can't hold your hand right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's a, like
Mm-hmm.
it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
So I, I'll say yeah, either that or just Tupac, me against the world, me against the world.
Yeah.
I'll say
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, that's a good one. I think a lot of us can wear that badge right now.
Yeah.
Who is an underrated artist, past or present, that you think deserves more love?
Ooh, an underrated artist.
Or maybe an artist where people are like, yeah, and you're like, you're not hearing the genius.
Hmm. I'll say Tevin Campbell. Oh my God, I grew up with like he has one of the most angelic voices I've ever heard in my life, and he doesn't get the credit for the vocalist that he is. Oh my God,
Yes.
he had like I grew up like I didn't grow up on the young Tevin Campbell. I grew up on the Eye to Eye Camp, the
Uh-huh.
Powerline, the
Uh-huh.
Goofy movie Tevin Campbell. But I'll say Tevin Campbell, Anthony Hamilton, either him. I like Anthony Hamilton too.
Nice.
I like the country raspiness of his
You
voice and
impressed the chat with that one. They're
yeah,
like, whoa. That was a good answer. That was a fantastic answer.
yeah,
Yeah, Tevin Campbell is the freaking goat. Don't. And still in my rotation.
yes. I love his. He has a
Still in
beautiful
my
voice, man.
rotation. Tevin Campbell's voice. Nicest person too. I met him a couple times. Very nice. Uh, what is one moment in hip hop history that you wish you could have witnessed in person?
Ooh, I actually going back to Tupac. I watched his House of Blues live performance a lot. That performance, I wish I could have been in the building for that. That would have been amazing. I would say that either that or I would say just going back to the Tupac Biggie situation.
Uh
I
huh.
would I would like to be there during that time.
Uh huh. Yeah, I feel like the Fugees had a unplugged sessions or something.
Ooh. Mhm.
I would have liked to see that.
Yeah, I say yeah, food like going back to just Lauryn Hill, the Fugees, like yeah, I love like growing up, uh like my generation, we grew up with video games and soundtracks that had like a bunch of different genres. So it
Mm-hmm.
wasn't where we had radio stations that chose with the music that we had. Like we had a bunch of different options. So growing up
Mm-hmm.
in streaming and that type of environment, it gives you a extremely diverse music taste. So that's the reason why you
Mm-hmm.
see a lot of these rappers who are walking around with the rock star aesthetics and that type of thing, because we grew up on that type of
Yep.
environment. Like especially just going back to like I said with WWE, a lot of my generation we grew up being wrestling fans, and a lot of the wrestling music we grew up on was rock music.
Yep.
So those theme songs. So that's the reason why going back to Playboy Cardi, you see a lot of those aspects in the 808s. So instead of just the power chords with the guitar, they replaced the power chords with the 808s, and it has that exact same with the aesthetics and the mosh pit, uh, and that exact same energy that you'll see from a rage or punk rock uh
Mm-hmm.
concert. What was that?
That's a good one. If the culture had rules, what's the most important rule?
If the culture had rules, I would say culture first. I'll say you can't be bigger than the culture. No one's bigger than the culture. And I'll
Be
say,
humble.
yeah, be humble. I would say that.
Starsky said, "Be humble."
Exactly. Like no one's bigger than the program. No one's bigger than us.
Mm-hmm.
I would say that.
Mm-hmm. Mm. Mm. If you had to introduce somebody to hip hop in 3 songs, what would they be?
Hmm. I'll say probably sing about me. With Kendrick.
Mm-hmm.
Even though Kanye tripping, I gotta have something from Kanye, old school Kanye. Uh I'll say Power by Kanye. I
Mm-hmm.
think that really embodies a lot of what Kanye is going through right now. His mindset. I'll just say that the ego that is within hip hop. Like
Ooh, that's good.
yeah, so like a lot of hip hop is just ego, ego. So I think that's the perfect embodiment of the ego in our hip hop. And I'll say, hmm. I'll say New York State of Mind. New York Nas.
Very good.
New York State of Mind. I think that's just I think that's just hip hop at its core, from the beat to the lyrics. I just think um it's almost like a 10 out of 10 song. I'll say yeah
I
for
would
those
agree with
three.
that. Yeah, I would agree with that. Okay, so aliens come down to Earth
Mm.
and they knock on your door You have to introduce them to humanity in 3 rap albums.
Mm, that's a good one.
Take your time.
I'll say I say going back to Kendrick, Good Kid, Mad City. 'Cause I think it just captures so much, and so many different people can relate to it. Just being the good kid and just the Mad City. Mad City could be so many different locations around the
Yep.
world, not just in America. So it just shows the duality of humanity and just the struggle of humanity. Uh, so that's one. I'll go back to My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. I go back to that. I say that's one of Kanye's masterpieces. I think that just covers, uh, like I said, it just covers so much of what hip hop, especially at that time, but just covers the idea of hip hop, and what it could be. So it just shows all of his aspects, from the drums, from the lyrical ability to the music to the different sampling aspects. He samples rock, he samples uh, classical music. All these, it just shows hip hop, um, at its core. Those two, and I'll say I gotta throw in the Outcast album. Hmm. Ooh, I'll say Aquemini. I say Aquemini.
Okay.
Aquemini.
I think Skip said that too from We Are Deciphered.
Hmm. Oh yeah, shout out to We Are Deciphered.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. Yeah, that one's got a couple votes. If you could erase one rap song from hip hop history, what would it be?
one rap song. Ooh, I was about to be petty and say it had to be a Drake song. It had to be like, 'cause, like, cause he's put out some BS.
Give me a hug?
Cause
No.
I,
Ew.
cause thing is, I'm not even a Drake hater. Like Drake and Kendrick, they were my two dudes for a little bit. But I think Certified Lover Boy is really what I kind of. I said I can't do this no more, Drake. I can't do it. Like I just can't, like, I can't be in this relationship no more. I had to leave. So when I said like Certified Lover Boy, probably like I'm too sexy. Like that, like I couldn't do it. I had to put my hands up. Yeah,
What
yeah, I
what
can do it.
talk about that more. Talk about like what was it that made you go this is a bridge too far?
It's just the moment with him and Kanye. Kanye dropped Donda, and Drake dropped Certified Lover Boy, and they had all this attention. The biggest at the time, it was one of the biggest beefs. Like that could have been on the level of Kendrick and Drake if it would have kept going forward. But he had the what was the Larry Hoover event. We had all the Kim K stuff going on. Like they had this big rollout for Certified Lover Boy, and he completely disappointed me. Like, cause like understand, I'm a big Kendrick fan too. Kendrick, he's always been my number one. But I've also liked Drake. I like his pop music. Like Kendrick says, I like Drake with the melodies. But it just felt lazy. It just felt like capitalism. It just felt like I'm here for your money. I can put out whatever I want to, and you'll listen regardless.
I was literally just going to ask you, do you think that he is trolling the
Yeah,
consumer at this point, or from Certified Lover Boy on, that he's just kind of like, here you go.
yeah. Like when he shot like Tootsie Slide and that type, it's like, what do you? Nah, I'm not listening to this, bro. Go
When
ahead
I
with it.
saw, honestly, never mind, which I don't listen to Drake's music, but when I remember when that album dropped, because I remember hearing and I remember hearing the
Yeah,
title of the album and thinking to myself, how insulting.
yeah, and especially going back to his Australia tour, how he just popped up and just said, I don't want to do this no more.
I'm out.
Yeah, people paid their money. They took off work and that type of stuff. I can't do that.
He pulled a Dennis Rodman, showed up at a wrestling match
Yeah,
a couple days later. I was like, I thought you had scheduling
wrestling.
conflicts. You ain't got no
Yeah,
scheduling conflicts.
yeah, he's playing too much. I think like he's on that. That's the reason why him and Kanye are still with these frenemies. Because Drake, he doesn't need to do this. Like, why are you doing this? You don't need to even be dropping music the way you drop music unless it's a part of his contract. But if he just took a break for a little bit, the exact same way we want, the same way they try to complain about Kendrick. But once again, we talk about Drake's chess moves throughout this entire battle, and he's not the war general he claims to be. I'll just say that.
When did you, in your opinion, as the as the confrontation was unfolding on the battlefield,
Mhm.
when did you say to yourself inside, that boy in real trouble?
I'll say, I'll say, meet the grain. I won't say like it was almost it was not even just the song itself. It was the chess move that made me realize, this is serious. Because for Drake to drop Family Matters, to have all the streamers get online, and then for Kendrick to drop the song, it's like, oh man, there's something true to the OVO mode type of things. Like so, and it also create the mindset of Kendrick knows something more. So it not only validated the boogeyman rumors. It's like, oh man, Kendrick he's doing something crazy, and then the next day, Not Like Us came out. That made it. It's like, okay, yeah, it's stop, just stop.
What did you think when you heard? I don't even like to say it, but I think it's sacrilegious. But
Hmm.
what did you think when you heard Drake's "The Heart Part 6"?
I immediately thought, yeah, it's over with. It's over with. Like if this is the rebuttal to Meet the Grams and Not Like Us, nah, nah, it can't be.
Where do you think Drake went wrong?
Number one, first of all, just having the video proof is like only thing Kendrick had to do was just turn it into a song. He said, "Hey, this dude is weird." I said, "What?" And then we started doing our own research, and that's it. Kendrick, he just had the layup. He just threw it off the backboard. We slam dunked the culture. So, yeah, it's like Kendrick said, it's a battle with himself. And then him doing the moves with academics, him aligning with the Andrew Schultz and that type of things. Like that entire, like all his chess moves outside of the battle. It only shows exactly who he is. And Kendrick, he only shined a light on what Drake was. And now Drake, he's just walking directly into the trap because he can't help himself.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. What does he do to get what's he do to get his way out of this one?
I, I I'll say lay low. I don't think he can though. He can't.
I say the exact same thing. I say, yep. Go ahead.
He can't. And either that because he has too many people like Kanye and academics who want attention too bad. They're gonna drag him into something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and even if he doesn't want to be in that, but understand Drake, he's messy. He loves that.
Mm-hmm.
Even though, yeah, even if he's not actively making music or if he's not actively doing it himself, he still has stake. He still has ways to pay people and get his way around. Like he has content creators that he can use to have his messaging done for him. So he has people on payroll for sure.
Do you think that because this the God, I resent him so much sometimes. Sexy Songs for You was already in the works.
Hmm.
And I'm sure there are some things that he had to, go into the studio for to finalize it. But aside from that, do you think that Drake is going to come back at any point in time with a serious rap album? Because I don't think that's what that was.
Yeah, because he was trying to test the water still. I think he's still scared. He's still insecure from those bombs he's had all through 2024. So,
Mm-hmm.
I think he's gonna attempt to, but like all the spotlight's gonna be on him once again. And I think this is the last album that he has a chance. Like this is the one where people decide if we're done with Drake or not. Like I won't say we because a lot of people are already done with Drake, but I
Right.
just talk about just the reason why he's getting away with so much is because he's still musically able to stay afloat.
Mm-hmm.
If he can't stay afloat musically, then once again, you can like Drake, his fans, but we don't value you anymore. So I think this is the last one. He has to. Like he said, he's not dropping any features. He's not having any features, so he's gonna do it by himself. So hopefully, no reference tracks get leaked. And that's all we can hope for.
Yeah. Yeah. What did you think when you heard that he was suing?
I, at first I was like, before he even sued, I just brought out the idea that he could possibly sue because it just seems like something he would do. It's like almost like a joke. Like he's like, man, Drake, the type of person he'll sue a rabbit, like, and he actually did it. And it was almost an extreme to, like I said, it was a joke, and he actually pulled it off. So, and it's crazy the narrative that his fans are trying to spin on the entire lawsuit. Um, and I always talk about comparing it to Tory Lane's situation, how they continue to try to win in the court of public opinion instead of just winning in the actual court system. Because I don't care about winning a bunch of people that I don't know. I don't care about tweets telling me how much they love me and like me. If I'm actually being locked up for 10 years, man, well, I don't care. Why we playing that? And that just goes back to their mindset and how they don't respect their audience. They think that we're stupid. And this just goes back to Drake's audience. Like I said, you are the average of the five people you hang around the most, so they all have that in common. They want idiots around them. They don't want anyone that actually has sense.
Do you think do you think rap is anti-black? Do you think it's a bad look? Or do you think it's perpetrating something negative with all this fixation on, I mean, for lack of a better term, coonery behavior?
I would say it just goes back to the 80-20 rule, the Pareto principle, knowing that less than 20% of the population commits 80% of the crimes. And that 80-20 rule goes back to a lot of different industries and knowing that a small percentage of the population is getting all the attention and put at the forefront to make it seem like they are leaders in our community or that this is what we are as a people. And when we don't have access to our platforms or our media sources, and we have other people who are not in our communities, and this is all they see. So they think this is what we are. And when it's negative, it's low hanging fruit. So it's extremely easy to put out the songs, to make the songs, to market the songs because it's going to get a lot of attention. Like going back to the Sexy Red and the Ice Spice, we can get the views, you can get the attention, and you can go on a Rolling Loud or a festival, and it makes the appearance that you're actually more popular than you actually are. But how many of those people are actually going to spend money on you? Because I also have background in digital marketing, just understanding audience demographic.
Mm-hmm.
So Sexy Red, her audience are people that can't even afford her tickets, and the people that can afford the tickets
Tell
aren't
it.
aren't going to pay for it because why would they pay to see a Sexy Red concert?
Yep.
So it goes back to I know it's just this Malcolm X quote just talking about how certain entertainers are put at the forefront of our communities, and you don't see this in a lot of other communities. Well, they do put their celebrities at the front, but they still have people to balance them out. They have scientists, well-known activists, and just people that are upstanding citizens
Mm-hmm.
that they can actually have as role models.
Mm-hmm.
And you can go. We can talk about systemic racism and how political it is and why it is the way it is. But we can always go back to the CIA and all that type of thing. We can get deep. We can get deep like that and
Yeah.
talk about them taking down all black leaders and that type of thing. But uh,
What do you think about the conversation that flared up recently around not Kanye is Kendrick a hypocrite when you talk about um the limited perspective
mhm.
on what is allowed to be pushed to the forefront and what is not allowed to be pushed to the forefront. What's your take on that whole, is Kendrick a hypocrite or not a hypocrite based on who he's collaborating with? And a hypocrite of what? Also, if
Yeah.
somebody could like be clear.
Mhm. I would say hypocrite. It just goes back to the philosophy shift and how we receive information, and how we're receiving our entertainment. I would say that Kendrick is shifting the culture to make like this extremely positive rap is being pushed to the forefront. It's not about that. It's about changing the pedestal that we put musicians and celebrities on. It's taking the power from the Drake, from the Kanye, to say, "Cool, yeah, we have y'all don't have the power." And as a culture, we are the ones who are going against Drake right now. Like Kendrick was just the medium who communicating the conversation that we as a people were already having. But like I said, going back to the difference between Kendrick fans and Drake fans, Kendrick fan, I never personally attached on to Kendrick because Kendrick is Kendrick. That's a man. He's just a man, and that's all he is to me. But
Yep.
Drake fans, they saw him as something more, and it just goes back to our philosophy difference in how we see reality. So I never saw Kendrick as a figure to be worshipped. So I expected him to have flaws. I expected him to have be a hypocrite, especially since I'm a fan. I listen to the music. I know what he's actually saying. Like I said, I'm a good kid, Mad City. I have that within me as well. Like I said, I listen to Future and Playboy Cardi.
Mm-hmm.
Even though Kendrick is not my number one, I still listen to that. So it just goes back to if you're a spiritual person, you understand. Buddha talks about the middle way. Uh,
Mm.
just the friend of sinners is Jesus. It's like
Mm.
I say my faith comes in my ability to be like Odysseus. I can listen to the siren and I'm still Odysseus. My mind is my mind and my spirit is my spirit. Jezebel, it doesn't affect me because I still have faith in who I am. I protect. I put in the work. This is what I put in the work for, to protect myself. So I say being a hypocrite is being holy in general. That's just being whole. It means you're complete. That's duality in it. And going back to just like I said, going back to being a wrestling fan, you have a heel and you have a face. Sometimes you're a good guy, sometimes you're a bad guy, but you're still who you are. Like The Rock can be a good guy sometimes. Sometimes he can be a bad guy. He's still The Rock. He's still human. So you have to be able to express both sides of who you are as a man. And I say it's just about that recipe in general. Like you still have that within you. It's about taming
Mm-hmm.
that and putting in the work.
Mm-hmm. And that it's okay. I mean, I think also it's like it's the the media portrayal or narrative on black people in the spotlight is extremely binary and limited.
Hmm.
You're good or you're bad. You're a hero or you're a villain. You're sexy or you're ugly mammy.
Hmm.
You know, you're the masculine of most masculine men or you're a sissy.
Hmm.
You know, and the in between, there is no in between.
Yeah.
And so for me, the conversation feels like, first of all, it feels completely made up
Hmm.
because, you know, a hypocrite to what? I'm like
Yeah.
you. I'm like, what have you been listening to for you
Yeah.
people who say, I've been listening to Kendrick? Well, have you? This nigga's been carrying murderous thoughts with him his whole
Life.
life. He also knows killers and he loves them. You know why? Because
Awesome.
killers have family too. He knows people that have been killed. I mean, it's just like
Hmm.
it feels contrived, made up, and like a stupid little trap
Hmm.
that society likes to play with black morality in
Hmm.
particular. Well, are you still a good person if you do this? Well, are you still a good person if you did that? Well, first of all, you don't know me as a person.
Yeah.
So you don't really know if I'm good or bad. I've got
Hmm.
a tight control over my public persona
Hmm.
and I'm
Yeah.
very private. So I
Yeah.
appear to be a good person. But I've also made it clear in damn near every song I've dropped that I want to kill some of these
Yeah.
motherfuckers. And I
Exactly.
might have also.
Yeah.
There's that. I might have already. I just don't. It's like you said when you were talking about earlier about like they think there are people that think like YouTubers really are like we are a part of a cast
Yeah.
on a show that exists
Yeah.
across multiple channels.
Hmm.
Um, it reminds me of that this kind of wanting to puppeteer a celebrity into a situation because it fits a convenient narrative. But it's just like if you're really tapped in and you're paying attention, what are you seeing? That's what I wonder. I
Hmm.
just wonder, like, when they're looking at us, what are they seeing?
Yeah.
When Drake says, I study rap battles for a living, nigga, what were you looking at when you were
Yeah.
studying them?
Yeah. It just goes back to just their projections. It's just how they view reality, and
Yeah.
is their inability to put themselves in somebody else's shoes.
Mm-hmm.
So you just saw that a lot through Drake, and just throughout his entire career. He's been extremely self-centered. Everything has been about Drake, Drake, Drake. How can he improve his career? And he's never really giving anything back. And the thing that he has given back has been he'll try to say, "Well, I put you on, I put you on tour, I feature with you," but it was all self-centered. It was never strictly because I care or I'm
Right.
even going back
I
to the
wanted to
lawsuit.
help you.
Even going back
Yeah.
to the lawsuit, it's like they continue with this narrative like he's the new Michael Jackson going against Sony. Like he's doing this for the small artists. And his fans will fall for it, but the culture, we see it as not only just snitching, because we know benefited from these things. His entire
Right.
career is the way it is because of these things. But also, it's like you are playing back and forth like you're the victim, but you're moving like you're the bully, and then playing the victim, but you still want to. He still wants to. He wants control. He still wants to control,
That's
and
exactly
he
what
lost the
I
control.
said yesterday. He wants control. The lawsuit makes him feel
In control.
in control. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, buddy. I was gonna ask you something. You said something. And then I got distracted by the chat. Let me see if I can reel it back. Um, Oh, that's right. You talked about Kanye
Hmm.
being a narcissist, which I agree. Like to the purest, like you said, not a psychiatrist, not a psychologist, but this is well beyond
Yeah,
self-centered behavior. What's up with Drake? What's Drake's issue?
I feel like I know people have been comparing him a lot to the MAGA supporters, but he once again number one going back to the control, going back to his issues with women, his issues with his parents, and just relationships in general. I just feel like he's extremely lonely. He's isolated. He has a lot of money. He has a lot of fame, and I think he's created his own living hell. And now he can never escape from it. And now he's stuck. He's trapped. He's Icarus. He flew too close to the sun. So now he has to deal with the issue. He has this. He had that thought. He had this dream of the life that he wanted, and like with a family. Uh, I got. I don't want to get like I don't know too much about his relationship, but just going back to when he came up with the thing about him having all the engagement rings. You remember that he had the chain with the what?
Yep,
Yeah, it's like
42 rings or something like that. 42 times that he had thought about, bought a ring every time he thought about it. Something. Yes, I know.
yeah, yeah. It's like
Yes.
he has this image of his life of this family that he never had, and it's slipping away from him. And he knows for a fact he's reaching 40 years old now, and it will never happen.
Not in the
No,
way that he still has that image in his head.
yeah. So he has to, and once again, going back to the control, the idea that he has in his head is more important than actual reality. So he's attempting to convince us of his own reality.
Oh my God, I said the exact
And
same thing.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, I say the exact same thing. It's thank God he's not a billionaire.
oh yeah,
Thank God he's not a billionaire because but nevertheless, he, does have privilege and is using the system at this point in time, but one of the things that I've experienced in dealing with affluent assholes in their jobs is they're so insulated by their privilege that they really can create their own reality.
hmm
And the worst ones are the ones that then force the people around them to adopt that reality. Kanye is a perfect example of a person who's done that to people, the school, the Sunday, whatever it was that was
hmm
going, that whole situation that was going on. Um, Elon Musk is another example. He does
yeah.
that pretty much everywhere he goes.
And Trump,
Of
Trump, he won.
it's yeah,
Yeah, for sure.
it's the control and really needing to puppeteer people, really needing to feel that level of control. And I also feel like he just doesn't think that a little nigga from California could do that to him.
Yeah, he severely underestimated Kendrick. I have no idea why. That's the reason why. Even at the back, we kept telling Drake, what are you doing? Like he's been going on for years. He's been underestimating Kendrick. This has been going on, and I always go back to the mindset of Drake, just to understand the bully mentality that he has, where he consistently talks about how he's better than everybody in his generation, and just talking about just how he consistently downplays anybody in his weight class. And it just goes back to his mindset. It's almost like how they talk about the 90s basketball, how Michael Jordan played with plumbers and that type of thing. It's like what type of what type of legacy do you want to leave behind? Like do you want to be the Michael Jordan in a wheelchair basketball league when you're the only person that can walk? Do you want to be the person that's the best of a bunch of losers? And he consistently downplays his entire
Damn.
generation.
That's so true.
And it's like he only wants to, but like once again going back to the control, he wants to be in bully situations where he can easily win. And I don't want to be nasty, but it also goes back to his grooming mentality. It goes back to why he chooses the relationships he chooses and the type of woman he chooses that he can easily control and manipulate. But hey,
Even somebody like Top 5.
yeah, exactly.
That's another grooming relationship. It was so, I mean, I was like, when I made my strategy of grooming video, I was like, this is 101. I've never seen a more teachable example of grooming happening in real time than these two right here.
Yeah, exactly.
And
I mean, like,
I think I just wanted to add that I think another component of that was really important, at least for me in the moment, was how absolutely confident Top 5 was that this relationship was based on merit.
yeah,
And that this made sense, that he earned that he was not being groomed. We'll just say that. Like, but that's clearly what that relationship was. And it was such a stark example. I think it kind of startled people.
yeah. And especially just going back to Drake's, like just saying all his chess moves has just been horrible since his battle. Like even with Akademiks, before this battle, Drake completely ignored Akademiks. He was a loser. Like I remember this viral video when Drake was talking to on live, and Akademiks was trying to join his live, and Drake was like, "Akademiks, leave my live, get out of my live stream." And Drake, he used to treat Akademiks like a nerd, like he was like putting like a nerd that's getting his head shoved in the toilet or something like that. Like he's like this high school jock type of
Water boy.
mentality.
Yep.
Yeah. And Akademiks, he's just glad to be getting attention. Glad to be getting attention from somebody.
Yeah. Yeah, I did I think one video on Ak last year where I compared him to the Nightcrawler movie.
Yeah,
and then
I love that movie. Love that movie.
That's such a good movie. It's
Yes.
creepy, but it's really good. Jake Gyllenhaal, man. He's a good actor.
Really good, really good.
He is such a good actor. He makes you uncomfortable. He's so good. But and then I talked about him with the grooming thing of the that happened recently, where he wound up getting reported by probably thousands of people.
Yeah.
I think the thing that it's disturbing to me.
Yeah.
That ecosystem that exists there. The AC 22, what's the dirty draws, like that. Again, the energy is the same. It's very like hyped up mobby kind of thing, which always kind of grosses me out and freaks me out when it's directed at anybody black. Because that's what happened before they started chasing us. You know, so those are kind of the last facial expressions you saw. Was hyped up excitement, and I think it's one of the sickest corners of the culture. And it's kind of like I don't know if it's a pyramid scheme or a Ponzi scheme or both, but it's so insular. Like,
I get what you're saying.
okay, thank you.
Yeah, it's like what you mentioned, it's almost like how you talk about just control. Yeah, you have to abide by certain rules. It's almost like I don't want to compare it to be like a gangster, how they have like street rules and street code, but it's for losers, if that makes sense. It's like they have a loser code that they all stick by. It's like they all lie for each other. They all keep each other's secrets. They all have similar relationships, and that's the reason why things continue. It's almost yeah, how you said like either add in like the Aiden Ross,
Yep,
add
that's
him
I was
in.
thinking. Yeah, that one too.
Yeah, it's like, and these guys are not really a part of our culture. It's
At
almost how
all.
they like you said, they're all playing the same characters, the same archetype. They're just the parasites. They're just sticking on to the outside, almost like a Jerry Springer of the modern day, where
Mm-hmm.
they're just meant to be agents of chaos. That's it.
Hmm. What do you think winds up happening with DJ Academics?
I feel like that's low key one of the reasons why I started my channel. I feel like the only way to get DJ Academics off the platform or just get him out the way is just someone has to replace him and understand he's
Offer
getting
something
older.
else.
Yeah, and I don't think, like I said, there's an entire ecosystem on that side. So it's not just one person, but you see how we can change at least the perspective of how they're viewed. Even if we can't change the amount of views they can still get those. Like I said, Kanye's still getting the attention,
Mm-hmm.
but are we valuing him? Are we actually listening? Are we actually attaching onto what he's saying, or are we just looking at him like he's crazy? And then they look and laugh and just keep going about their day. So just opening up people's eyes, giving them perspective. I say that's the biggest thing. And for yeah, I say like I used to be an academics fan. I grew up watching academics. So like since 2016, but understand 2016 was almost 10 years ago, and academics is still the same person.
Mm.
And it kind of like, and I feel like there's a lot of children that are going to grow up feeling the exact same way about academics. Like academics is still these exact same human being. And I went to college. I graduated college. I'm a grown man now, and he's still doing the exact same behavior. It's
He's
almost
still busting into the barber shop like, y'all want to buy some windshield wiper fluid
yeah, yeah. He's still yeah, exactly. He's still
that he just stole out of somebody else's car?
exactly.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
I think kids would grow up and realize how lame he is once the older they get.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I've talked about a couple times on my channel. There's when I say that somebody is a pathetic person,
Hmm.
I don't mean like, oh, they're pathetic. I mean like, no, that is their state of existence.
Hmm.
That's how they present in the world. That's how they move through the world. And pathetic people are aware that they live a pathetic existence. And to me, academics is the embodiment of that. He knows that this is pathetic. He knows that he is pathetic. He's trying desperately to be relevant. He'll use notoriety. Doesn't care. There's
Hmm.
no character building there. There's no community building there. It's always got to be scandal. It's always got to be, the energy's always got to be way up here all the time.
Yeah.
And it's always got to be bad. And it's always got to be revealing somebody's, tearing somebody down. Anyway, yeah.
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 And
We
that's
see eye to eye on that.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay, let's switch gears back to the lawsuit. As you know,
Hmm.
the process of discovery is now fully underway. And Drake we've already learned a little bit about what Drake wants. Number one on the list is Kendrick's contract, which is still crazy to me. Now, UMG is going to start figuring out, what do they want from Drake? What do they want to ask Drake about anything? You know, I mean, you know what the lawsuit's about. You don't have to have read every single sentence. You know what it's about. He's saying it's a lie. They need to say it was a lie. I've never done this, that, and the other. I was an innocent victim. What beef? What beef? What happened? These people didn't care if I lived or died, and people were attacking me, and blah, 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 blah. But anyway, he's demanding things. They're going to start fighting over it, and now UMG is going to start asking Drake for things. What would you, if you could compel Drake, because he has to answer or he has to hand these things over unless they fight over it and a judge decides. But let's just say, you know, you get to pick 3, 5, I don't know, however long you want to go. If you could ask Drake anything under penalty of perjury, what would it be?
Well, I already know. Number one, I got to see those DMs. If I can.
All of them?
I got to see, if I can, as many as I can.
Okay.
But mainly, you know how recently some of those DMs were leaked from, I say, what was it? Grand Wizard, somebody like an affiliate of DJ Akademiks.
Yes.
With Drake.
Yes.
So yeah, I need to see those. I got though, not just those specific, just Drake DMs to academics, content creators. Those messages.
He had the Braun ones.
Yeah.
Where Ak was like, they weren't real or what, but still, yes, we'd like to see that ourselves.
Yeah, and also from the his Finsta, I need to see those too.
Damn.
Yeah, for sure. What it was, a plot twist? Yeah, plot twist. I need to see those. Damn,
that was good. That was good. Oh yeah, because Drake wants all the platforms for UMG. Finsta, I'm deceased. That's so good.
Yeah, I need to see that. And also, I know Yellow Beezy was having a similar situation with their. I saw where they were looking for details. They say they want his income, properties, business, and taxes. So I need to see some statements about if he's sending money to content creators, if he had anything like, I need to see stake any of his businesses. Like, I need to see all those documents. I need to see those details of like I said, his income, properties, businesses, his taxes.
Yeah, that's good. Let me think. What would I want to know? Well, like you said, his DMs. So yeah, I want to see all the DMs and text messages around the shooting at his house.
Oh yeah.
I want to see those. I want to see his gambling debts.
Ooh, yeah.
I'd like to see a profit loss margin on gambling. Yeah, I'd like to see that. And I would like to see, well, first of all, I want to know, this is so dumb, but it's so true. Okay, so there's two aspects of discovery. There's like, we want this, copies of this, blah, 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 blah. But then there's also like, they can ask questions and then Drake has to answer them in writing. So one of the questions that I would ask Drake is, do you have a code name for Kendrick that you refer to him by in your messages?
That's a good one.
And then I need to see all of those messages.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Do you have a code name? Oh, I would want to know, like, for the year prior to, I don't know, like that, I guess, or Euphoria. I'll say a year for the year prior to Euphoria. I want all of Drake. I want Drake's bank statements. I want to see his Cash App
Yeah.
and his Venmo, because if you're putting money out there in the streets to find out information about people,
Yeah.
I would like to see that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, if he said he wants to know how much money, period, does UMG spend to promote Kendrick Lamar? I want to know, how much money do you spend to tear him down?
Yeah.
I want to know that.
Absolutely.
How much money do you pay to tear him down? Who all have you paid, and how are you moving that money?
Absolutely.
I want to know, how much money did you pay for Top 5's lawyer? I want to see all those communications. Are you attached to the jewelry that he has, and therefore the jewelry that the women around him have? I want to see the receipts for that. Oh, I would ruin his whole day.
Oh yeah.
I really would. I would ruin that man's entire day. Just asking for this, that, and the other. He'd be like, damn. She can ask for that. She can try.
Yeah.
But yeah, specific to the lawsuit, I would want to see, he wants to see all their communications around Not Like Us. I want to see all his communications around Family Matters.
Yes, like, and I don't think that Drake is nearly as strategic as he claims to be. Because I feel like he's extremely sloppy in the text. I feel like he's extremely sloppy. I don't, yeah, especially seeing how the heart part 6 went. Yeah, he's not nearly as detailed and organized as he claims to be.
No, he lives online.
Yeah,
I feel like anybody could get Drake's phone that's around him,
yeah,
knows the code, knows how to get into it. Real sloppy, real sloppy dude. Yeah, I would want to know, any civil lawsuits, civil claims. So before they were filed,
yeah,
you can just directly lawyer say, we have a claim against your client. Nothing ever has to be public. I would want to know from Drake every single civil claim. So it didn't get to a lawsuit he's ever settled.
yeah. You know, it's a lot.
I feel like it is. I feel like it is. I feel like it probably is. I feel like there's probably some artists in there who are like, you stole my shit. Some women in there. This your baby.
Yeah.
I think there's a couple things in there. And the reason why I'm asking is not because fodder, it's because going after Kendrick's contract is a major code violation. That's not pocket watching. That's pat down Poppy, as the chat has, you putting him up against the wall and telling him to put his hands up. And you going through what are you doing? What are you thinking? And I will be so shocked, but I'm also really open to it. But I will be so shocked if Drake is just clean as a whistle. I will be so shocked if we all got it wrong.
Yeah, I'd be extremely shocked. Extremely shocked.
You know what I mean? It could happen, and I could be presented evidence where I'd be like, "Hold up, y'all. Let's be fair and objective and reasonable about what it is that we're looking at." But we've seen nothing for years. Certainly nothing over the last year. I would be extremely shocked if it was just like, "Holy shit, we got this all wrong this whole time." I don't think that's gonna happen. I think is spinning a tale in his own mind that he can work this and finesse this in some way, and that he's not as vulnerable in terms of what can be found out
Hmm.
as anybody he's suing.
Yeah, and that's the exact same ego he had during the battle. Like he's treating the court case or UMG the exact same way he's treating Kendrick. Like I'm Drake. I'm bigger than the program. Yes.
I'm Drake. I'm bigger than the program. All right, y'all, get your questions together. Get your questions together. You know we getting into that good time. Kim Tillman, that's a good one. Under threat of perjury, have you killed anybody? Have you paid anybody to kill anybody?
Yeah, but yeah.
Yeah, I I just don't, you know, I'm a firm believer in people do what works for them, so we ain't got to like it, we ain't got to agree with it. Like I'm with all of that at whatever level of ego, id, whatever it is, this is working for Drake. That's why he's doing it. People always do what works for them. So, but my concern is, yeah, just as I said, I feel like he doesn't have people around him. I'll say this. I think for the longest time, he's had people around him that just puff up his fucking head.
Absolutely.
And he wouldn't know objectivity if it slapped him in the face.
Hmm.
And he is in a situation now by his own making that he will only learn from if this completely fails. If it doesn't fail, he is going to feel vindicated, validated, and justified in everything that he has done. But it's still not going to... The people aren't all of a sudden going to be like, oh my God, I was hoodwinked.
Yeah.
You know, I no longer like that song. That wasn't the moment that it was. You're right, you win. Like that is never going to happen. You're never going to get that from a court of law. You can get everything else,
Hmm.
but you can never get respect from the culture that way.
Hmm.
So I feel like no, go ahead.
I agree. You good.
Yeah, I feel like if it's not all dismissed, he's going to be insufferable. And if he wins anything at a jury, he's going to be fucking insufferable because he's going to want to put an asterisk onto everything for the rest of forever. And it matters, but it doesn't change anything, I think, at the end of the day. And I don't think he gets that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and going back to just one of the reasons why Drake chose this field, this realm of being an entertainer, is going back to him getting plastic surgery, him not having to write, him having ghostwriters and reference tracks, and he does not like to compete. Like going back to his issues with control, even going back to his issues with not submitting to the Grammys anymore, because he's not winning those awards. He doesn't control that situation. So now he's at a position where he can easily control. So, and like you said, with the lawsuit, it's about the courts. It's not about the court of public opinion. So, if he wins this, once you, like you said, I can just imagine just academics and the stories and the narratives.
I know, it's going to be so
Yeah.
annoying.
But at the same time, it's like I honestly can't see that. I don't see that.
You don't think it's gonna? You don't think you? Do you think the case will get dismissed? I mean, obviously, you're not a lawyer, so you can't
Yeah.
speak to that. But yeah.
From what I know for the from the case, I'll like completely dismissed.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I honestly I have no idea
Mm-hmm.
because I don't know what.
Here's a better question. Here's a
Mhm.
better question. Do you see a jury giving Drake hundreds of millions of dollars in damages for Not Like Us?
Nah, I don't.
Okay.
I do not see that because once again, even with the narratives, it's hard to see Drake as being a victim, but at the same time, they're celebrating his success. So you can't say, well, you're going number seven on the records and all, and going number one with your album, and then at the same time, you're talking about you are losing money or
They destroyed me.
yeah. So it's just going
Right.
back to what UMG was talking about. It's really his ego.
And
He's
then the
hurt.
Nokia video as well, like you said in
Yeah,
context. What are you doing?
exactly.
Is he obsessed with Kendrick?
Yeah, at this point, absolutely,
You think so?
absolutely. I think he has to be because they're forever connected now. Like even when I was saying earlier how I didn't want to bring up Drake, we have no choice. Like they are forever connected.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, this is gonna be a part of Drake forever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I said that in my very first video. This is going to follow Drake around for the rest of his life. I think he's making it worse.
And I feel like he already has an obsessive personality already. You see how he does with his ex girlfriends. So I
He
feel like
don't that boy don't let shit go. You're
yeah he does
absolutely right.
he
Yeah.
doesn't let go. So yeah, he's obsessed absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. God. That's a great observation. Yeah, he doesn't let anything go. All right, chat. I'm sorry. I know I said get your questions ready and then I went back to talking. I'm looking. I'm paying attention. Y'all have any questions for us, either of us or both of us? Drop them in the chat. I'm staring at it. It's a good conversation. It's a good way to
Oh yeah.
spend Friday night just chilling.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Hey, Jeep Jones. Oh, that's a great question, Kim Tillman. How did you become aware of each other's work?
I'll say my first video I think or I'll say the first one I remember was the top five grooming video, I believe.
Yep,
I
that
think
one struck a nerve. That one was popular.
yeah, I think that was the first one I think. And then I think I didn't even know how to pronounce your name. I was like, how do you even say that? Like I think I was trying to shout you out. I was like, how I was just saying Absa. I just
Yeah, you
call
got
you Absa.
it. You
Yeah.
got it.
But
Yeah.
then yeah.
You were one of the first. You were either one of the first people who had a channel to comment on my videos, or you shouted me out and somebody told me.
Hmm.
And I went, looked, what are you talking about? And I'm always like, lives can be great and they can be really terrible. It's like
Hmm.
it's like you're walking into a party that's already happening.
Yeah.
It could be a great party or it could be like the music sound quality is bad, somebody drunk, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I was like, okay, let me click into this. You were in a live and I didn't say anything, but I
Hmm.
clicked into it and I just watched and immediately I was like, "Oh my god, he's so calm. Oh my god, he put facts on screen." he's referring back to the facts. That was it for me. I was
Yeah.
hooked right then and there. I was like, the way you just, as you said when we started this conversation, come in, being your authentic self, um, and being fair and balanced and being rooted, you
Hmm.
know? Like I said, you have consistent things that you're talking about, which you've shared tonight. You know, how we show up, why we show up, what we consume, why we consume it. What do we value? What do we not value?
Hmm.
What's playing in our face and distracting us while also extracting from us because it's our culture.
Hmm.
And yeah, I was pretty much hooked from there. You're one of the literal voices where, because you will talk about things that I can't talk about because they irritate me too much, so I stay away from them. But I'm
Hmm.
curious about them. I want to hear about them, and I also want to know what the people are saying. So
Hmm.
you have a channel that I can tap into where I'm like, I can hear it in your voice.
Yeah.
I can accept it from you. I can hear it from you because you're calm, you're very factual, and you don't you're not cheap about it, you know?
Hmm.
You you aren't like you said, you don't care about this, that, and the other, but you take the topic seriously and you take your
Hmm.
audience's interest in the topic and your audience's interest in what you think of the topic
Hmm.
seriously. And I try and do that with my audience as well, of like, no, I take my audience very seriously and what
Hmm.
it is, that they want to talk about. Sometimes it takes me a couple days to find the lesson
Uh-huh.
or the greater
Yeah.
context that I can bring to it. But yeah, this is another good one. What is your current? I can't believe we almost went a whole. I would have felt like we would have missed this one. So thank you, Storm Cloud. What is your current opinion on J. Cole?
Oh, that's a good one. I think the last song I heard with him, well, it was Clouds. I think that's the last one he just dropped. So musically, he's still J. Cole.
Mhm, yep.
So musically, yeah, he's still J. Cole. What he dropped, I'm gonna listen.
Hmm.
I feel like I'm gonna still have the same enjoyment. I just won't attach on to it the same way. It
Yeah.
it still sounds the same. It's still aesthetically pleasing,
Hmm.
but I just don't believe in Cole. I just don't believe it. It's like
Did you see? Have you seen Read My Soul's channel?
I haven't. I
Okay.
know. I think I know who you talk about though.
Okay. Read My Soul has a great video.
Yeah, actually, yeah, I was
Um.
just watching one of his videos. Actually, yes.
Okay. Yeah. So he has the one about J. Cole is the Kevin Durant.
Ooh, that's a good one.
It's a good one. It's
That's a good
so
comparison.
good.
Great
It's
comparison.
so good. Yeah, check that out.
Yeah,
Check
well,
that out.
I could just based off just that sentence, I could see. Yeah, I can see it. I can see it.
Yeah.
Absolutely,
Yeah. It's a
absolutely.
good one. This is another good question. Did you mean kid or Jid? Oh, yep, you did. Okay. Are you looking forward to the new album coming and what do you anticipate?
Uh, I'm not necessarily anticipating, but I'll listen because
Same.
uh, I feel like as a Kendrick fan, I feel Jay. Is it JID or Jid?
I don't have the foggiest idea.
I don't know. Like, I heard people say it both ways, so
Yep, me too.
I say Jid.
You're in a safe space here. It's
Yeah,
fine.
I'll say Jid. So I'll say Jid. He's at the phase right now. If you're a Kendrick fan, you know that Kendrick he had that K dot phase where he was just lyrical spiritual miracle, where he's really just dropping bars, dropping uh where Kendrick Lamar had to become Kendrick Lamar to add that substance to reach the levels that he's reached. I feel like JID, I think he needs to go from extremely lyrical and that ability to really start making moments and
Mm.
Like I know academics was saying that about Kendrick, where Kendrick only make moments, that type of thing.
Right.
But I feel like JID, he needs to start making those moments. He needs to start
Mm-hmm.
becoming a staple in the culture.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's like the music is there,
Mm-hmm.
but it goes back to what do we value?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. It's like, yeah, we like Jid. We like Jid. Well, I keep going back and forth. We like
All good.
Jid,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, he has to reach deeper and touch a different nerve for him to put himself in that
Imprint.
exact, or he'll end
Mm-hmm.
up like a Wale or Big Sean,
Mm-hmm.
where it's like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, we like your music, but you will never reach that
Right.
next level.
Right. Yeah. I don't I don't try and guess what an artist is going to do on an album. I've
Hmm.
only ever done it here for shits and giggles with the chat, but I like art.
Hmm.
So if there's artists that I'm listening to and they drop a new project, I just care that they dropped a new project. I don't care if their sound has changed from the last album. I'm not one of those people who's like, "Oh my god, they sound different." They sound different. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
What are they going through? What have they been learning? How are they expanding, their sound? So I never look at like I anticipate this and the other is gonna come. No, I'm just happy with whatever it is. Artists don't need our pressure
Hmm.
of this, that, and the other. That's the other thing. Artists, we need to just shut up and be patient and say thank you when it comes out, as
Yeah.
far as I'm concerned.
Yes, I feel you on that.
Um, do you think Fighting Irish Freestyle and Nokia have a similar theme of Drake trying to expose his dad and Drake doubling down on accusations being thrown at him?
Hmm. With the say the seeming that Drake trying to expose his dad,
You
I think
think PZ? You think Drake is sending shots at his dad?
I feel like Drake, even if it's not direct, I think he still has those issues with his father.
For
Uh,
sure.
I think he still. That's one of the reasons why he's getting LeBron James and Lil Wayne tattooed on his body. He's still looking for that male validation.
Yeah.
So, and that's one of the reasons why he's so heartbroken by LeBron James. Like he really pressed about that. But
Really.
uh, it's a double and X being thrown at him. Yeah, I think with the each and every single drop, it was always purposely done to chip a narrative, especially after the beef. All the moves that Drake has made has been purposely to change the narrative that has been pushed through Not Like Us, that Kendrick has made about him through this beef. But
Mm-hmm.
like we're like even talking about the songs themselves, the chess moves are bad because it just exposes all the non-verbal communicate, like everything that Drake is non-verbally communicating,
Mm-hmm.
as opposed to what he's attempting to communicate. He doesn't see himself and see all the flaws and see how loose and how sloppy he is.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said,
Mm-hmm.
he's been around so many yes men and so many people around him who filled up his head that he truly believes that this is correct. He doesn't know how to connect with human. He lost so much of his humanity in order to become
Yes.
who he is. I'll say
Yes.
that.
Yes. Mr. Towns 90. When Drake takes another L in this case, will it affect the new music he puts out? Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think
Yeah.
the biggest impact on Drake's music is Drake's music.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like you said, it's what are we valuing? What are we not valuing? And then also, what are you giving us? Are you trolling us and being lazy? You're not giving us moments anymore as
Hmm.
an artist. And I think one of Drake's, um, I don't know if it was a superpower or if it was a spell, But his catalog of back music, it, first of all, is worth a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
But second of all, it's worth a lot of nostalgia.
Mm.
It
Yeah.
hits people. People were at very having very specific experiences in their lives, literally growing up, right? First dance, first kiss,
Mm-hmm.
graduation, went to college, like all these things, got married, had a baby, all these
Mm-hmm.
things where this party, remember this vacation, kicking it with the bros,
Yeah.
proposed to homegirl, whatever. Okay. Um,
Yeah.
my cat just distracted me from my question, but um, I think that so one of the things that's missing in terms of what we've been talking about with Drake and new music is number one, it's lazy. Number
Mm-hmm.
two, it's not good. And that weighs down your music more than any scandal, more than anything. If he dropped
Mm-hmm.
the slapping is slapping, people would bump that shit.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Um, he doesn't have the sauce anymore. I don't know if he even cares to have it.
Mm.
And so if he can't do, if he can't create music that also, to your point, speaks to, that also covers the recipe that's required for it to really go,
Mm-hmm.
I don't see that happening with Drake anytime soon.
I feel the same way. Yeah, especially since he's been exposed with the ghostwriters, the reference tracks, and then especially with the Nokia music video, it's just everything he's putting out is looking lazy and uninspired.
Yeah. Yep.
So
And
he needs a break.
petty and immature. Why are you
Yeah.
making a music video that is based on somebody else's music video while you're caught up in this thing? It's just, he
Yeah.
used to be so expansive,
Hmm.
and it's like he's run himself through the funnel system several times, and now it's just this very narrow thing.
Hmm.
Oh, I don't know how he's gonna bust out of it, but a lawsuit I don't think is helping him.
At all. And then going back to the music video, it's like cool. You can attempt to troll Kendrick and Kendrick fans, but even his own fans were disappointed. And that's
Mm-hmm.
another thing that I've been seeing a lot. Even I know Casanet just went viral, was saying what a lot of his fans, what Drake's fans were repeating online is that they were expecting something completely different with the Nokia video. They expected it to be more lively, more dance party, more colors, and he went for the low hanging fruit to attempt to get back at Kendrick, and it didn't hit in any way, shape, or form. It didn't hit to make people mad, and also didn't hit for your fans to actually like it. So it didn't achieve its goal.
Mm-hmm. Molly Princess and him. Question: what do you think Drake's come to Jesus moment is going to be?
Mm. I would say it's gonna have to come after this lawsuit. So whatever happens after this lawsuit, if it's not the lawsuit, it will have to be. Like I've been saying, 2025, Drake, like, his music is not hitting the same. So he's gonna have to do a lot of things behind the scenes in order to attempt to get back at Kendrick. And you know he will. He's petty. He's gonna do
Mm.
this forever. It's forever now.
Mm.
So I feel like he's gonna continue to sabotage, attempting to hurt other people, and it's gonna, like right now what he's doing with DJ Academics, and DJ Academics is aligning with Kanye. He's gonna attempt to align with the wrong person. I'll say that. I don't even think it will be necessarily what Drake has done. I just think it's maybe people around him or him getting involved in a certain situation where
Do you think he's gonna pivot full MAGA? A lot of people love that one.
I
You think
think
we're gonna see him in the White House posing like Kanye did with
I
Donald?
don't I don't think he'll go that far because I don't
Hmm.
think Drake, he's never been political. I don't think he don't even. I don't think on either side. I think he's like he
Yeah, but it's a photo op.
yeah
It's just a photo op. He doesn't have to be political. It's just a photo
yeah.
op.
I think I I don't think it'll be something similar. I think I don't think it'll be with Trump. I think if anything it'll be with Andrew Tate.
That's a very good point. You're
And that's and,
absolutely
and
right.
that's why I was saying that like him aligning with academics or Kanye, I think him, like I said, he's gonna align with the wrong person, and that person will do something,
Mm-hmm.
and it's gonna bring a lot of attention to Drake, and Drake is gonna be associated with that. And I'll
I
say,
was very concerned about that happening with the top five situation.
yeah,
Because I was like, either that boy gonna kill somebody or he gonna die.
yeah,
And it's gonna be tied to some fucking foolishness having to do with trying to impress this biscuit head
yeah.
for some money or some chains or some whatever.
And not only
Yeah, it's
that,
so
yeah,
reckless to me. So reckless
yeah, and
and
especially
desperate.
he still has the thing going on with XO and Toronto. I'm not sure if that's settled.
Right. Right. I don't know. I assume not. I feel like he doesn't you know necessarily resolve situations. I think he just turns away from them. And
Yeah,
that to him is like the resolution or we're done here. It's like, no, you just solidified that somebody's really pissed at you.
yeah, yeah. He's just like whatever. He'll
Like
just
Anita
like
Max Win.
yeah, he's just disposed like it's just disposable.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly. Uh, uh, uh. Dropping knowledge bombs. It's probably nothing. Yeah, it's unfortunate. It's really unfortunate. But, we're still going to be here to talk about it because it's still going on. Are you going to be able to see Kendrick this year?
talk about on tour.
Mm-hmm.
I wish. I think the closest tour. I think the closest he comes to me is in Atlanta. I think it's on like a
Mm.
Tuesday, and I can't make it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wish
Well,
though.
it'll be all over the internet, I hope.
Oh yeah, hopefully, hopefully.
It'll be all over the internet. Well, I want to thank you for
Awesome. Thank
coming
you so much for
on
having me.
and spending some time. I'm glad to be able to connect with the people that I watch, connect them to the audience, and just remind people that they're real human beings,
Absolutely.
that are on YouTube, that are having these conversations, and that, I consider you to be a person of substance and heart and character and integrity. And that is so desperately needed on YouTube, which is male dominated. I'm not hating. It just is. And so, there are people like, why haven't you had this person on? Why haven't you had this person on? Why haven't you had Moni on? First of all, Moni and I are working it out. She's busy.
Oh
Very
yeah.
famous. But also it just is what it is. I'm not trying to, you know, I'm gonna prop women and da 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 da
Yeah.
da. No, I'm gonna do both, and non-binary people too. But I think it is important to, um, I think that black men on YouTube often get a bad rap. I think it's changing because of the last year,
Oh yeah.
because the algorithm kind of got cracked and more just regular, reasonable people with real lived experience started stepping to their mic and talking. And so I feel like the little bit that I can do is say, here's one of them.
Yeah. Appreciate you.
Here's one
Thank
of those people who's grounded, who is, grounded, who gives a damn, and is using the platform to create a community that is thoughtful, that is smart, that cares about the culture, that cares about themselves and the kind of media that they consume and who they spend their digital time with. So, yes, I appreciate you spending time with us this evening. I know I'm looking forward to your continued soothing voice breaking down the most ridiculous foolishness happening.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate you.
And I have a feeling that we'll talk again because whether we like it or not, I feel like it's going to be an eventful year
Oh yeah.
of
I was just
things
about to say the same
happening.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully, we can eventually do this again. I plan on doing a lot more collabs this year, trying to get out of my comfort zone a little bit more, trying to branch out to other creators. So I'm glad this is the first one I've done, and it's been an amazing experience. So thank you for having me.
I'm so glad to hear it. Stick with me for a second. Don't hang up. Y'all, thank you for watching. I will see you soon. Peace.
Appreciate you.